Right to equality, we have seen it spreads, it extends from, who has been, it extends from article number 14 to 18. Okay. And we had discussed about, first of all, in the right to equality, we talked about right to equality. uh, Number one, part A, equality before law, or we could say rule of law. In the rule of law, we could go through the two parts: equality before law or equal protection of law. This is under article. Yes, speaker fast. Which articles are covered for the rule of law? Equality before law and equal
Ma'am,
protection of. Yes,
Article 14. Ma'am, Article 14.
yes, article 14 and
14.
15. What about article 15? Article 15 speaks of no discrimination
No discrimination on the
on the
grounds
five
of
grounds
gender.
especially. Okay, on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
five grounds especially. Which grounds are covered in the constitution? Religion, race, caste, gender, or place
Gender,
of birth.
place of
These
birth.
are the five grounds mainly. And then part C, article 16 we were talking about. Part C, article 16. Yes, equality of opportunity. We debated on article 16. Still all of you are so quiet. All of you spoke for at least 40 minutes during the debate, and all of you are not able to speak about article 16 is about equality of opportunities. Okay, we had discussed about reservation, the policies of reservation in this. And now we come on part D. This is about article number 17.
Sorry,
Now,
17.
important article, article number 17 abolishes untouchability.
Untouchable.
Yes, abolition of untouchability. What do we mean by untouchability? It is covered by article. I'm writing its article only because we didn't cover it earlier. Abolition of untouchability. Oh, I just forgot here. Untouchability. This is point D. Abolition of untouchability. What do we mean by untouchability? Abolition of untouchability has taken place under article number 17. Important article. Okay, so sometimes this article number is asked in the exams to assess for the one marker. So please keep it remember. So uh, Constitution of India has abolished untouchability also under article 17. Yes, Sanjana, are you speaking something? Sanjana, you want to say something, beta? Yes. Okay. So first of all, question arises: what do we mean by untouchability? Untouchability means if we call upon anybody, if we use the words based on the basis of a specific community, specific caste, all these are all these come under the category of untouchability. Now question arises: what was the need to make all these provisions in the Constitution of India? All of us know that since the ancient times in India, untouchability had been practiced. Getting it? As you could see in the book of NCRT, we have been given one example. One incident had been there. I'm just reading it out. This is page number 30. Swadesh Kumar is visiting his village. He is accompanied by one of his friends. They decided to have a cup of tea at the village roadside hotel. The shopkeeper knew Swadesh Kumar but asked the name of his friend to know his caste only. After this, the shopkeeper served tea to Swadesh Kumar in a very nice mug, while his friend was given tea in an earthen cup because he was Dalit. Could you see? So all
Yes,
these
ma'am.
kind of practices fall under the practices of untouchability always. Uh, one one case study has been given on page number 30 in the name of Sadesh Kumar. It's saying two friends had been there and they stopped at a tea stall to have the tea. So the shopkeeper, the shopkeeper was very much aware of Swadesh Kumar, but he didn't know his friend. So just to know about his caste, he asked his name, not not to have a friendship with the person. He just asked the name, just to know about the caste of the person. And after he came to know that the person sitting, the friend of Swadesh Kumar, he is a Dalit. So he differentiated, he showed the discrimination by using the two different kinds of mugs. He offered the tea, he served the tea to Swadesh Kumar in a very nice mug, and his friend was offered tea in a disposable. Okay, so it show all these kind of practices are comes under the category of untouchability. So so the constitution makers have made the provisions under article 17 because untouchability has been practicing for long in our ancient culture. In fact, if we go through the things, so you could see the incidences that practices for the untouchability for the touchability had been there. Okay, so this was the need of the hour for the constitution makers to make the provisions in the constitution of the country. So under article 17, the untouchability, the practice of if we adopt all these kind of practices, so it has been declared a punishable offense now. After this, we come on party. In the party last part of right to equality, this is the abolition of titles. Abolition of titles. Now here, what do we mean by the titles? Abolition of titles, and these have been abolished under article number
18.
18. Very good. This is article number 18, which stops the people to receive, to be honored by the specific titles. First of all, understand the meaning of titles here. What do we mean by titles? See, titles are those words. Yes.
Ma'am, it includes those rights, not rights, those titles like Bharat Ratna and Padma Shri, all these awards which are given as titles to the like military heads or whatever. If a person is getting any national title, it will not be considered in the state.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else would like to speak anything about evolution of titles? What do we mean by
Yes, ma'am.
titles? Yes.
Ma'am, in the ancient British time, there were titles, there were provinces, princely provinces,
Hmm.
and there were dynasties going on. So there were titles with the names of the persons like Maharaja, Rani, we come up. And in the modern day, we can see the titles as doctor and
Hmm. Hmm.
captains, the major generals, like that.
Hmm. 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 Okay, that's good. Listen, titles means if anyone use the specific titles with the name of oneself. It means, suppose during the British period, British began to give some titles to the Indians also, just because British always believed in the policy of divide and rule. They were doing all these things, and now they began to demarcate among the peoples on the basis of social distinctions even. So just to fulfill that purpose, they began to give the titles of Sir, Rai Bahadur, okay, knighthood. All these kinds of titles were started by the British. Even during the ancient time, Maharaja Dhiraj, Maharaj, as right now Yashasvika referred, okay, she spoke about it. So all these were the titles, and these were used along with the name of the particular person who were awarded this. Okay, so what happened? Other peoples began to feel inferior to themselves, that we are not superior to them. The people who are having a particular title, all of them are the superior to us. So automatically in the society, a kind of discrimination began to take place, which was not good for the development of society and for the development of country. Mehak, you want to say something? Okay. So all these are known the titles. Titles means which can be used along with the name as sir. Okay, this was started during the British period only. Now we come on the titles. Suppose Bharat Ratna, Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan. All of you know all these awards were stopped in 1955 because it was debated that all these are also creating a distinction. All these are creating a discrimination on the minds of the people, and these were started again in 1977 when Supreme Court declared that these are not the titles. Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, all these are not the titles. These are the honors. These are the awards given to the people, conferred to the people on the basis of their skills, on the basis of their abilities only. So we cannot call them titles. These titles can be used along with the name, but we do not use like Bharat Ratna, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Do we use this? Do we call like this? We never call like this. Okay, so all these are the awards, and it was said no award, no particular award will be used with the name of the person just to show the discrimination into the society. All these will be awarded on the basis of the distinction, on the basis of the merits. Getting it? Major, colonel, okay, all these are the ranks. As you spoke about na, major, general, all these are the titles. No, these are not the titles. These are the ranks, in fact. Okay, so titles means if a particular person is using the titles along with the names, that will be known as the titles. But all these are the awards, and in 1977 these were started again by the government of India because Supreme Court declared that all these are not the titles. We all these cannot fall under the category of the titles. All these are the awards. All these are the honors for the merit of the person, for the capability of the people. Okay, and no one will be allowed to use this specifically with the name of the person. So all these are the sub rights. All these are the subtopics under the right to equality, rule of law, no discrimination on any of the grounds, especially five grounds had been given. Equality of opportunities in the government jobs or in the jobs, abolition of untouchability under Article 17 we have discussed, and abolition of titles under Article 18. And in the right to equality, we have the second example, also second case study on page number 30. We would like to discuss this also. This is, I'm just going to read it out. An order is served to four news readers of a television channel that they would no longer read the news on screen. They are all women. The reason given is that they are above the age of 45. Two male news readers above the same age are not barred from presenting the news. Anyone can interpret, please? Anyone? Anyone can interpret the second case also? What's all about?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, it is about a it is about a news reader of a television. The because uh, two two men were appointed on the place of the four women, and the reason which was given to the women is that their age is above the 45. But when the two men were appointed, they are almost of the same age of the women. So this is and they are appointed as a new news reader of the television of the same age. So this is a type of discrimination which is based on the gender.
Very good. Very good. So we could see the second case. Second case is showing the discrimination on the basis of gender inequality. Okay, got it. And first case on the basis of caste or on the basis of untouchability. Getting it? So these two case studies have been given here for the right to equality. Now we come on the next right, right to freedom. Next right we'll discuss right to freedom. This is the second right. Second fundamental right, right to freedom. So first of all, the question arises, what do we mean by freedom? If here we are talking about freedom, so first of all, question arises, what do we mean by freedom? What is the
Ma'am,
freedom?
freedom means full that we have full authority to do what we desire to do, to speak what we want to speak, and do things which we want and are not harmful to others.
If anyone says that I have the freedom of speech and expressions and I can abuse anybody because this is my right to freedom, would it be fine?
No,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
ma'am,
Yes.
freedom means the power or right to act, speech, or think as one wants.
Yes. See, freedom of, or we could say freedom or liberty. You can here understand freedom or liberty. Sometimes we call this liberty also. So what do we mean by liberty or freedom? So freedom means liberty of thoughts, expression,
And
And
action.
action.
expressions and actions.
Action.
Very good, well done. And actions obviously.
But freedom doesn't mean to do anything that one likes.
Yes, obviously. Freedom means freedom of thought, expressions, and the actions. But it always stops. It always limits the freedom. The right to freedom limits this right also by saying number one, freedoms are defined in such a manner that we cannot threaten anyone. We are not supposed to threaten the freedom of others, or we cannot endanger the law and order in the society. Two things are associated here. Two limitations have been associated with this. Number one, point A, not to threaten, not to threaten freedom of others, freedom of others. And secondly, point B, we cannot violate the law and order in the society or in the country, not to violate in the name of the right to freedom, not to violate law and order, law and order in the society or in the country. Getting my point? So in the name of freedom, we cannot do these two. We cannot perform these two. Though we have the freedom, we have the freedom or liberty of thoughts, expressions, and actions. But it doesn't mean that we can threaten the others, and we won't let the others enjoy their freedom. We cannot abuse anyone. Though we have the freedom of expressions, we have the freedom of thoughts. We can think in one's own way. Okay, we can express ourselves, but in the name of expressions, freedom of expressions doesn't mean that we can abuse anyone. It's not there. And freedom of actions, obviously, suppose if you have the liberty, if you have the freedom mm, to drive a vehicle on the road, so the people on foot on the road also have the freedom to walk over there. So you have to take care, you have to respect their freedom also. Getting my point? Yes. So two things are associated. Number one, under the right to freedom, first of all, we are supposed to respect, we are supposed to pay a regard towards the freedom of others also. And secondly, we have to follow the law and order in the society. In the name of right to freedom, we cannot violate any of these. Getting it? So this is known as the right to freedom. And uh, under the right to freedom, we have the different to freedoms. Here, please keep one thing. Remember, sometimes very popular question comes, which we discussed in chapter one. We interpreted Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. You remember what was that? Anyone remembers?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Anyone
that
knows?
equality and freedom cannot be deprived of each other.
Very
They are
good, beta.
independent.
Equality and freedom. One question always comes on this in the examination, in any form, in any language may be any. Okay, it can be framed out in any way. Equality and freedom, so please keep remember. Getting it? You have to explain on these things, or it said that equality and freedom are two mandatory or essentials of democracy. If we have to maintain democracy in the society, so we'll have to take care of equality and freedom both. Getting it? So prepare the notes on this well, please. How can you associate them? Okay, you can give the examples of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also. You can collect the points from that box also. Okay, but frame a very good question for this. Okay, how can we say that equality and freedom are the two essentials of democracy? How are these two associated with each other? These are parallel to each other. In any format the question can be put up. So please prepare the good points for this equality and freedom. This is your homework. After this, most important question comes in this. How can you say that the right to freedom is the cluster of the different freedoms, or the cluster of the different rights to freedom? Okay, so how can we say? Reason is this: under the right to freedom, it's right. This right is called the cluster. Everyone knows the meaning of cluster, I hope. All of you
Yes, ma'am.
participated in the clusters conducted by CBSE.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Very
not
good.
all, but
Not
I
all.
participated.
Okay, that's good. So, right to freedom, the fundamental right to freedom, is the cluster of different freedoms, different freedoms granted by the constitution of the country, granted by the constitution of India. Now here you will have to explain the different freedoms. This is the cluster of different six freedoms. Sometimes it's given one marker. How many freedoms have been granted under the fundamental right to freedom? Okay, so how many freedoms have been given? Six freedoms. Here we see, sorry, six freedoms have been granted. What are all these? Number one, first freedom is freedom of speech
Freedom
and
of
To
expression.
speech.
speech and expression.
In short, I'm writing this, okay, speech and expression. This is the first freedom. And second is,
To assemble peacefully
Assemble
without
peacefully.
arms.
yes, second is, what happened? Okay, I'm just going to clear all these and I'll just write it from beginning so that you can note it down. I hope all of you have noted down all these things. Okay. So now we'll
Yes,
see
ma'am.
the six of freedoms. Right to freedom. We have the six of freedoms here. Six of freedoms. What are all these freedoms? Number one. What was number one?
Of speech and expression.
Speech and expressions. Very good. We'll discuss one by one all of them. First of all, let's write. Okay. And second freedom. You will have to explain all these.
Assemble peacefully.
Yes, very good. Assemble peacefully. To assemble
Form unions.
peacefully. Very good. To assemble peacefully and without arms, we can add it here. Okay. Point C. Third freedom is, what's the third freedom, beta?
Form association to form and unions. Associations and unions.
Very good. To form
Unions.
association. All of you do the homework very well. Well done. Please give your attendance even in the comment section of the YouTube. To form associations. Very good. Unions and cooperative societies, we could say. Okay. And fourth freedom, which is the fourth freedom, beta?
To move
To move
freely throughout the territory of India.
Very good. To move freely. Keep remember one thing here, within the territory of the country only. If you go without any passport, without any visa to abroad, it's known as the illegal movement. Okay. To move freely within domestic territory of India. Domestic territory I've written. Okay. And next is,
Reside and settle in any part of India.
ये क्या हो गया point E. Fifth freedom is
To reside and settle in any part of India.
to reside. I mean, in short, I'm writing this to reside and settle. Okay, all of you just know within the domestic territory. Okay, point and sixth freedom is
To practice any profession.
very good. To practice any profession, or carry out any trade or business.
Occupation.
Yes, any trade or business. Occupation, we could say. Okay, business. So these are the different six freedoms which have been granted to us by the fundamental right to freedom. That's why the fundamental right to freedom is known as the cluster of the different freedoms granted by the constitution of the country. So first of all, we'll discuss about the speech and expressions. Okay, so what do we mean by this? The Constitution of India provides its citizens the freedom of speech, press, and publication, or any other form of expression by which you can express yourself. But it is not absolute at all, as we have discussed right now, and it does not confer any right on the press on media to have an unrestricted access to means of information. So under the freedom of speech and expression, first of all we enjoy the right to information. Right to information was introduced in the parliament as the freedom of information bill 2002, which
Right.
along with certain restrictions made it mandatory for the government to provide information pertaining to the public sphere. Therefore right to information came into force in 2005, and this is a right under the fundamental right of freedom of speech and expressions. Now we'll see what are the limitations of this freedom. This freedom given to citizens is limited, we have already discussed. So we'll discuss number 1, defense of sovereignty and integrity of India.
Yeah.
Always, whenever you speak anything and whenever you express yourself, you have to always take care of the sovereignty and integrity of India. Secondly, you have to take care of the security of the country. Thirdly, you have to take care of the friendly relationship with that of the foreign countries. Fourthly, you have to take care of the public order
Public order.
of the country. Next, you have to take care in the interest of decency or morality. Always you have to maintain your decency, your own decency also, and your own morality also. And in relation to the contempt of court, defamation, or incitement to an offense, you have to take care. All these are the limitations, and all these limitations should be reasonable, and the court has the right to decide whether it is reasonable or otherwise. Getting it? If any dispute arises, so all these are known, these are the limitations on the freedom of speech and expressions. After this we come freedom to assemble peacefully and without arms. Okay. So freedom to assemble peacefully and without arms, in the Constitution of India guarantees to all citizens of the country the right to assemble, which includes the right to hold meetings and to take out processions, to protest even, but in a peaceful manner or in a democratic manner. Nothing should go against the democratic spirit of the country, then we can assemble. This is a peaceful and constitutional method through which an environment for publicity and building of public opinion can be made possible. But all these must take place in a peaceful manner, and obviously it must work out under the democratic spirit only. Third, we come and sorry, they would like to see the limitations of the assembly peacefully. What are the limitations? Number 1, the assembly must be unarmed. It should not be the people should not be assembled at a place with the different arms, with any kind of weapons. Getting it? So this is the limitation. Secondly, it must be peaceful, it must be in the under the democratic spirit. Third, the state may impose reasonable restrictions as may be deemed necessary in the interest of the public order or the sovereignty and integrity of India. If the state feels the assembly which is going to take place, this is against the spirit of the democratic order, state can restrict those kind of assemblies. Got it? So this is the limitations. What are the limitations? What limitations will you write? Number 1, it must be unarmed. No armed assemble. The people should not assemble along with any of the arms of the weapons. And secondly, it must be peaceful. It must work out under the democratic spirit. And thirdly, if the state feels that the particular assembly is going to take place Okay, or or the state feels that this is necessary to restrict the particular assembly in the interest of the public order, the state has the also right to restrict all those kind of assembly. So all these are the limitations. Third freedom is to form associations. So what is this? Indian constitution declares that all citizens shall have the freedom to form associations or unions according to their different necessities and the nature. Their aims and programs, however, their aims and programs should be constitutional and peaceful again. Limitation: state can impose reasonable restrictions on the exercise of freedom of association and union in the interest of the sovereignty and integrity of India, public
India.
order and morality. Next we come on the freedom to movement, or freedom to move from one place to another. It guarantees the right to move freely throughout the territory of India. The Indian citizen can move freely from one state to another state even, and in any part of the Indian Union. This freedom is also not unlimited. Do you know? In the interest of the general public or for the protection of the interest of the any particular caste, specific caste, the state can put the reasonable restrictions. Getting it? So these are the limitations on the fundamental right to move freely within the domestic territory. Freedom to reside and settle down. The Constitution of India provides that every citizen is free to travel and settle down permanently in any part of a state or union territory. This freedom is not too unlimited. It is also subject to the reasonable restrictions in the interest of the general public order and for the protection of the interest of the specific people. It may
Specific
be
people.
any. Okay. So this is the right to reside and settle. After this, we'll see last freedom to practice any profession or carry out any kind of any occupation, trade, or business. Citizen can adopt any trade or profession for promoting livelihood. So this is the freedom to practice any profession. What's the limitation? Firstly, the state can impose reasonable restrictions on this right. Number one, in the interest of the public order.
Of public order.
Secondly, or the prescribed professional or technical qualifications necessary for carrying on any profession, trade, or business. And enables the state to carry on any trade or business to the exclusion of private citizens wholly or partially. ठीक है? If the state feels that a particular profession is against the spirit of the constitution, is against the spirit of the democratic spirit, state has the right to restrict on all these kinds of freedom. So all these were the six freedoms which have been granted by the right to freedom. So the fundamental right to freedom is called as the cluster of the different rights. So you can explain all these, or if the limitations are asked for the particular fundamental freedom, so you can please keep remember two three words. Number one, in the interest of the public order, the state can restrict,
Strict.
okay, to any assembly, to form any association, to move freely, to reside and settle, and to practice or profession. This is the one limitation which must be on your tips. You can set it anywhere if the limitations are asked. Okay. Speech and expression. So under the name of freedom of speech and expressions, we cannot abuse anyone. We are always supposed to pay regard. We are always supposed to respect the freedom of others also. Getting it? We are always supposed to maintain a decency, a morality. Getting it? So all these are the different six freedoms which have been granted under the right to freedom. Under the right to freedom, next comes protection of on life and personal liberty. Protection protection on life and personal liberty. So this is, I feel that I must clear all these 6 freedoms. Have you noted down so that we can discuss this? Okay, should I clear this? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beta. To recite. Then now we'll just this. Then now we come on the second. Under the right to freedom, first of all, we discussed about.
Right to life and liberty.
No. First of all, we discussed about the different freedoms. Okay. First of all, we discussed about the different freedoms, that the fundamental right to freedom is known as the cluster of different rights, and we discussed about the different 6 freedoms under this right. Okay. Secondly, now we come, second is protection on life and personal liberty. This is, it has been given under article 21. You have to find out the article number 1, article number for those freedoms granted. I'll ask tomorrow to you. So protection on life and personal liberty, it has been granted under Article 21. This is Article 21. So what does the Article 21 says? Article 2021 provides us the protection of life and personal liberty. It means no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedures established by law. Are you getting it? No person, it
Yes, ma'am.
says, no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedures established by law. What do we mean by this? Yes, anyone can explain?
Ma'am, yes.
According to procedure. Yes, explain.
Ma'am, it's
Ma'am,
that like, if
Yes,
any person
anyone.
has
Anyone, please first. Established.
ma'am, that means no one can be arrested without being told the reason. If person arrested, then he or she had right to hire a lawyer. No,
Okay.
this
And
right is
all
just
these,
not
listen,
confined to
all
act against taking away of individual.
Neil, all these have been given, beta, uh, personal liberty. Under the personal liberty, that how can a person enjoy one's own personal liberty? We are asking to interpret this particular statement, that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedures established by law. What do we mean by this? Yes, anyone
ma'am,
can interpret, please?
ma'am, a person can only be arrested or like he should be his right to life should be taken only in a specific condition which is written in the law, which is there in the law, and that also will involve a procedure that will give him the person, it will give advantages to him.
Listen, here it means, obviously, no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedures established by law. It means if any person has committed any crime, if any person has committed any offense, and it has been proved, it has been approved by law, by the court. Okay, so whatsoever the sentences can be given to them, the person is subject to them. In that condition, the person may be deprived of his life and personal liberty. But except all these procedures, okay, no person can be no person can be tortured physically. No person can enjoy the confinement. No person can be imprisoned. Getting it? So all the this is the interpretation of this statement. If the crime or the offense has been proved by the court, by the law and order, then the person is entitled for the assigned punishment by court or by law. Getting it? But except all these cases, no one can be denied of his or her personal liberty. Now we'll see what are all these. Number one, here I'm writing, it means no one can be denied of his of one's personal liberty. Okay. So what do we consider? What does the Constitution consider in the personal liberty? Number one, first of all, the Constitution of India considers that no one can be arrested. No one can be arrested without being intimated the grounds of such an arrest. If any person is being arrested, the person is supposed to come to know about the reasons of the arrest or about the grounds of the arrest. Okay, no one can be arrested without here in short I am writing proper grounds. The person is supposed to know the grounds. They have the fundamental right. Point B, the person has the right to defend himself. Okay, under this right, under the right to personal defend, under the right of personal liberty, person has the right to defend. In short, I am writing this, to defend himself, himself or herself by the choice. He can choose any advocate, any lawyer for himself to defend. Okay, so under the personal liberty, if the person has been arrested, and so secondly, the person has the right to defend himself. And third, under the personal liberty it comes, person has the right, the person whosoever has been arrested within 24 hours, it is mandatory for the police to present the accused in front of the nearest magistrate. Whosoever has been the nearest magistrate, it is mandatory for the police to present that person before that magistrate within 24 hours. Okay, so in short I am writing this, mandatory for police to present arrested one before nearest magistrate, nearest magistrate within, yes, yes, within 24 hours. It is mandatory. Getting it, everyone? And if the magistrate finds that the person has not committed any of the crime or any of the offense, so within 24 hours the person can be released even. Okay, so all these are the fundamental rights to the people. So this is under Article 21. Got it, everyone? Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
everyone has get it. So
Yes,
now
ma'am.
next we'll discuss the Preventive Detention Act. I hope the things are clear. So please prepare the notes on this. Yes. Okay.